Okay, this is just a little review video for those of you that were not here on Monday. We went over direct variation. You'll see the keyword varies directly in a word problem. So you'll know that you're going to be using the equation y equals kx. And that equation is very similar to y equals mx plus b, except that there is no b, or the y-intercept is 0. The k, which is in front of the x, is called the constant of variation, and pretty much it's kind of like your slope in a regular equation, except they're called constant of variation. Since there's no y-intercept, the k, if you need to find it, you can just use this equation. You get one of the y values divided by the x value, and that'll give you the k. So we had a little scenario about Julio's wages and his how much he gets paid for every hour and so on. So it tells us that he gets, for 5 hours, he gets paid $29.75, and then they want to know much he gets paid for 30 hours. They tell us x is the number of hours and y is Julio's pay. First thing you need to do is find the value of k. So we just use the same equation, k equals y over x, and then pay is the y, you divide it by x, the hours. So $29.75 divided by 5 equals $5.95. So that's our k. So we wrote that there. The next step is to write the equation. So if you go back to your notes, equation, that's our equation, y equals kx. So y equals kx, and we already found the k was $5.95, so just put it in place of k, and there's our equation, y equals $5.95x. Then, in order to find how much he gets paid for 30 hours, we plug it in place of x into our equation, multiply it, and we get $178.50. Now, if they're giving us one x value and one y value, and they say they vary directly, and then they're giving us a new y value and asking us for the new x value, we're going to set up a proportion. So our proportion, we can set it up like this: y over x equals y over x, the original one and the new one. So 28 is the first y over 7, the first x. Then I do not know the second x, but I do know the second y, 52. So y's over x, then cross multiply. 28 times x, 28x, 52 times 7, 52 times 7. Set them equal to each other. That's how we cross multiply. This gives me 364, and 28 times x is just 28x. Divide both sides by 28. Our answer is 13. All right, next part. They give us a little scenario. We have to fill in the table. Then it asks us for the k. All you need is one value here, one coordinate point. And remember that k is y divided by x. So we got the y value divided by the x value. So 18 divided by 3 gave me 6. So our k is 6. The next part says write the equation. Remember, it's y equals kx. So k is 6, so we just put it in front of the x, and that's our equation. Then the next question asks us to find how many minutes it would take if you spend this many gallons. We know gallons is y, so we use this same equation we had here, but in place of y, we substitute in the gallons, 270. We're going to have to divide both sides by 6 so we can find x, and that gives us 45. So our answer is 45. All right, so for our homework, the first part asks you to find k. So all you have to do is use this equation from a table. Just pick one point, divide it, the y by the x, and that's your k. Then it asks you to find the equation. So once you have the k, just put it in front of the x, and this is your equation. On the next part, it asks you for the constant of variation, which again, guys, it's just k. So all you have to do is get the y value they give you, divide by the x value, that's your answer. Then the part after that gives you the x value, the y value, and a new x value or a new y value. So that's where you're going to set up a proportion, cross multiply, and solve for your unknown. The last part is going to be a scenario, kind of like our first example where they give you a story. You can find your k, find the equation, and use it, or you can actually set up a proportion in the word problems. Both will work. Our assignment for direct variation was just the back, page 148.